what we're going to do is we're going to look at section 1-6, which means chapter 1, section 6 of geometry. And mainly what we're going to do is we're going to classify polygons. First of all, we need to discuss what a polygon is. A polygon is a closed plane figure with at least 3 sides. And what that means is an example would be, it's going to be a polygon, which means it's going to have straight sides. So if I have something like this, notice that's not a polygon because the top that I just drew is not straight. It also needs to be closed. So an example would be this. Notice that it's not 3 sides. And if I drew it like that, it isn't closed, meaning something can go inside of it and we don't want that. So you need to be really careful that it's closed and it has at least 3 sides and those sides are straight. Now that we have an idea of what a polygon is, we need to talk about naming it. Now when we name it, we can start with any vertex and we list them in order. So an example would be if I picked T, I could name this polygon TLWNMY. Notice that they're all capital letters because they're vertices. Or I could start with T and I can go counterclockwise. So TYMNWL. Again, I can start with any letter. I could start with W, I could start with T. It all depends on where I start, but I have to go clockwise or counterclockwise. Now, let's talk a little bit about something being convex or concave. This is actually going to be on your test, so you want to make sure that you have an idea of what this means. Convex just means that all of the vertices that you have here, they point out, kind of like someone took a origami shape and blew into it. All of the pieces go out. Concave means that it's caved in. Someone went up to it and poked it somewhere on it and it's dented in or caved in. Now let's talk a little bit about polygons and the number of sides. Each polygon is named according to its sides. So an example would be a 3-sided figure is a triangle. A 4-sided figure is a quadrilateral. Now, some students say a square, a rectangle. That is true, but those are special types of quadrilaterals. So again, they're like looking for just a general name. A 5-sided is a pentagon. A 6-sided is a hexagon. A 7-sided figure it's a heptagon. Now that is one that students get confused on. They think it's like a septagon because septuplets are 7, but it's actually a heptagon. So you want to be careful of that one. An 8-sided figure is an octagon, which makes sense, like an octopus or a stop sign. It has 8 sides. A 9-sided is a nonagon. That one is just, we don't see it as often, so students have more trouble with that. A 10-sided is a decagon, which makes sense. A decade is 10. 12 is a doe. 2 is doe, and then decagon. And then N, anything pretty much after that, it does or could have a name, but we're not going to worry about that. You're going to see it as an N-gon. So in the directions, it'll say, of the following N-gons, do something with that picture. All right, let's move on, and let's do a couple more definitions. One is an equilateral polygon is where all the sides are the same, and what tips you off is equa, meaning they're equal, and then lateral means side. Another definition, if we take a closer look, is equiangular. Again, when we look at that one, equa means equal, and angular means all the angles are the same. And then finally, a regular polygon. A regular polygon is a special type of polygon where it's equilateral and equal angular. It needs to be both for it to be regular. So let's take a look at a couple of polygons. It says specifically name each polygon by the number of sides. Tell me whether it's convex or concave, and tell me whether it's regular or not. And we will see this on a test, so just kind of a heads up on it. So let's take a look at this. You're going to notice it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. And so we're going to name this figure a hexagon. Okay, and you're going to notice that it has these little hash marks all over it. That means that each side is the same length. So that is going to be equilateral. Okay, notice that none of the sides are pushed in, so it's convexed. And so if it's equilateral and not equiangular, it is not regular. On these problems, just make sure that you look at the directions and answer the questions. That's the main problem that students have. Let's go to the next one. You're going to notice that it has 4 sides, so it's a quadrilateral. It has no markings that the sides are the same, so you can't assume that. And it has no markings that the angles are the same. So it is not regular, because it's not equilateral and it's also not equiangular. Let's look at this next one. This one, if you look closely at it, has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. So it's a pentagon. Okay, if you notice, this right here was pushed in, so it's concave. And then you're going to notice that it's equilateral, but not equiangular, like it's not marked at all that it's equiangular. So it's not regular. All right, let's keep going. This one right here has 3 sides, so of course it's a triangle. It's not a triagon. I've had students tell me it's a triagon. It's not a triangle. A triagon, it's a triangle. Okay, you're going to notice that the sides are not the same. And you're also going to notice that someone didn't punch it in. So it is convex, and it's not regular. All right, let's go to take a look at this next one. This next one you're going to notice, it's kind of a funky shape. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So this would be called a heptagon. You'll notice that it is punched in, so it's concave. And you're going to notice that none of the sides are the same, so it's not equilateral, and the angles aren't the same, so it's not equiangular. So it is not regular. Remember, it has to have both. All right, finally, let's go to this next one. Now, I'm going to add a marking to this. It should have been included, but it wasn't. And I'm going to go like this. So please include that in your drawing. It should be in there. Notice that this has 4 sides, so I'm going to call it a quadrilateral. You're going to notice that nothing was pushed in, so it's convex. You're going to notice that each side has these hash marks, which means it is equilateral. Now you're also going to notice that those little symbols that we put in at the very beginning, notice that all of those angles have the same marking. And what that means is that it's equiangular. They're 90 degrees. That's a special marking that we talked about before. Since it is equilateral and it's equiangular, then it is regular. So it's a regular polygon. All right, let's move on. Notice that this says solve for x, and it is a regular polygon. And so first of all, I know that if it's a regular polygon, I know that all the sides are the same and all the angles are the same. Now these little hashy marks that I make on the angles, they're not 90 degrees, they're just a hash mark, and we've talked about that before. Now, the reason why that's really important when they say that it's a regular polygon, what that means is that all those sides are the same, and that's going to help us solve this problem. So what that means is I'm going to take 11x minus 9, and I'm going to set that equal to 4x plus 12. Because what the problem is asking me to do is it's solving for x. I can only do this if I know that the sides are the same. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract my x's. So this is 7x minus 9 equals 2, or 12, I'm sorry. Then I'm going to add my 9, 7x equals 21. Divide by 7, x equals 3. And you'll notice that I answered the question, and that's key. If it asks me to find the side length, this does not, but just let's say it does, what I would do is I would take one of these two expressions. Let's take the 4x plus 12. I'd go 4x plus 12. I'm going to take 4 times 3 plus 12. I get 12 plus 12, and it'd be 24 units. And that's just an example. If they ask you to find side length, that would be something that you would do. You pull out the expression, you plug the number in, and then you go ahead and solve it. Now you're going to notice that this off to the side, why do we need shapes? That might be something, if you have some spare time, that would be a good thing to look at. It's a video that I found was kind of interesting on why we need shapes. All right, that's all I have for today. If you have questions, please feel free to message me or let me know if there's anything I can do to help you.